I would suggest you, if you can, if you're strong enough, use an Olympic bar with a 45-pound plate on each side so you don't have to bend over so damn far. Start with the bar rolled back flush against your shins. Start with the bar rolled back flush against your shins. Now this is a real important issue here. Remember, as a trainer, safety is my paramount concern. I'm not going to ask you to do dumbbell bench presses on a Swiss ball or heavy squats while jumping up and down on a trampoline like Poliquin would have you do. Grasp the bar with a slightly wider than shoulder width grip. Your hands should be interlocking. One hand is underhand, one hand is overhand. That way, if the bar slips either way, it slips into the other hand and it locks. Squat down in such a fashion that your hips or buttocks are at least slightly lower than your shoulders. And most important of all, keep your back flat and your head up. Keep your back flat and your head up at all times. Do not round your back or drop your head. Think of your arms. Visualize your arms as chains. They're straight up and down with hooks on the end of your hands. Deadlift the bar. Don't jerk the bar with your arms. Deadlift it evenly and smoothly off the ground. Stand straight up, pause momentarily, then rest. Then lower and reset psychologically. Take a deep breath and repeat. Again, 5 to 8 reps to failure. Yeah, you're pumped. It pumps the lower back. Yes, as long as you don't, if you experience any slightest tweaking or your doubt about the sensation, it might be pain, check it out, get it checked out. No, all the way down. You're less likely to hurt yourself. And again, as a trainer, if you want to do it that way, that's up to you. You're not going to be able to sue me anyway. Just momentarily, long enough to take a deep breath and reset. After the deadlifts, take a brief 1 or 2 minute rest, then proceed to dips. Regular parallel bar dips, just like you did back in high school gym class. Do the dips like the pull downs under full strict muscular control for 6 to 10 reps to failure. If you can do more than 10 reps, as I rather suspect most of you can do, add weight. I meant to emphasize the dip. Think of the dip as the upper body squat. You cannot beat it. It is the best pec exercise in the world, the best shoulder and tricep exercise. If you don't have access to one or you can't do dips, try incline presses. And that's all for workout B. Now, I have no doubt what some of you are thinking. That's it, Mentzer? That's all? You got to be fucking crazy. Well, remember, the goal is not to see how many sets you can mindlessly endure, but to intelligently, knowingly, rationally, logically do only what nature requires to activate the growth mechanism and no more. Yes, there are hundreds of exercises you could do, but where do you draw the line? Very often when I tell a new phone consultation client to do this workout, he'll say, oh, but Mike, how about the leg curls for the hamstrings? No bent over dumbbell concentration curls like Arnold says for the lower outer 32nd of the bicep. How about seated calf raises for that special part of the calf? Or this for that, that for this, on and on ad infinitum. And I respond rather firmly, but sir, that's precisely what the hell you were doing before, and that was your mistake. That's what led you to call for my phone services, whether you realize it or not. Your problem, I continue, is that you so burned yourself out with all those sets trying to build in the detail. Why don't you build a 20-inch arm first? You see the point? Yes, there's 1,000 exercises you could do, but where do you draw the line? Remember, you're going into the gym just to activate the growth mechanism with the least amount of exercise possible. A bodybuilding workout is not aerobic. A bodybuilding workout is not an endurance contest. Your only purpose is to activate the growth mechanism with the least amount of exercise possible. Those success stories I listed 20 minutes ago are not fakes. And again, if you doubt my veracity, check my website. We've got dozens of success stories on there with phone numbers. The one kid, one of the greatest success stories, Bryce Dunn, last Sunday had 37 phone calls from people all over the world to check to see if I was lying about this. Yeah, I pay all these guys $10,000 to lie. I wish I was making enough money to afford that. Keep in mind also, of course, you're not morally, legally bound, people, to do this whole program the rest of your life. However, if optimal strength and size increases is your goal, then seriously consider trying this. I have no doubt that if those of you in here, you volume trainers, you're not making any meaningful progress, if at all. You have nothing to lose to try this and everything to gain. Of the type of routine I'm giving you, there are no isolation exercises involved here. Again, I could have given you 100 more exercises and statics and negatives and rest pause, but as your trainer, in a sense, my job initially is to get you to start growing. We can throw in the heavy artillery later. Try this for 3 months first. I call this a baseline program. If you start throwing in all these tangentials, and you were to call me for a phone consultation, I wouldn't know how to assess your progress. I always start people out on this bare-bones startup baseline program. I did say a few minutes ago that from at least certain perspectives, this program is the perfect strength or bodybuilding training program. If you keep in mind, once again, that the ideal situation is to stimulate all the major muscles of the body with the least amount of exercise possible. Well, again, I'm not asking you to do the least amount possible, which is 1 set. Interesting to note here, however, listen to this. I have a few clients doing but 1 set of workout. In fact, my best gaining client ever, literally, is a phone client, my greatest success as a trainer. His name is Will Robertson. He's got considerable publicity on the internet, and he had an article, there was an article published about him with photos, what was it, about a year ago in Master Trainer. This young fellow, Will Robertson, is a very bright 21-year-old with the greatest vocabulary I've ever seen with anyone that young, a brilliant young kid. He's an English literature major at the University of North Carolina. Here's the crucial point. A bodybuilder who doubled his physical mass in 4 years, going from 125 pounds at 5'6" to his high of 254 at 5'6" in 4 years. A few years ago, when Will first signed up with me as a phone client, he explained that he was having very severe psychological problems being so thin. Here's the kind of cute, not so cute point. Now at the other end of the spectrum, he informed me recently during a follow-up, he's having problems too. It seems that wherever he goes on campus, whether to the library to study, to the cafeteria for lunch, to classes, he is stopped all day long, incessantly, by teachers and students who are curious as to how he became so freakishly muscular. He just wasn't psychologically prepared for all the attention his enormous muscles would gain him. Anyway, to conclude, at this point in his training, Will is now only doing 1 set per workout, and he's still growing.